Hello, this is Mrs. Malik. I wanted to finish the third body paragraph and we didn't have time to do it in class, so I wanted to make a recording. Um, this is period five's essay so far. Here's the thesis statement. Here's the, this is the finalized thesis statement. And this is the first body paragraph about limitations. In sixth periods, this is the second body paragraph. Okay, let's see what topic sentences you all chose for the third body paragraph. And I wanted to update you on a little bit of a change I wanted to make. So, sixth period, after leaving his home in India, Ashoke realizes his new responsibility as a father to a newborn son. And then fifth period shows a responsibility Ashoke faces due to his newfound independence is raising a child in America. So I wanted to show you guys the quotes that we had. And at the time when we did this assignment, I think we only had read chapter 1. And so we didn't really have that many quotes to choose from. So both of these quotes are kind of redundant in a way where it only shows the responsibility that Ashoke faces, but not the consequences that he faces as well. So I wanted to address that as an issue with my essay because I wanted to do the consequences and responsibilities. So I chose the stronger of the two, which to me is this one. Okay. And I am introducing another one. So here is the first one. So this is the one that I chose that might be the best out of the ones that students have written for me. So let me just expand this all the way. Okay. Oh wait, no, that's not the one I wanted. Okay. This is the one I wanted. Okay. So now I'm gonna have to make a small tweak to the topic sentence because I want to have responsibility and consequence, and I want to separate the responsibility and consequence a little bit. Okay, so here are the two quotes that I have. And the second quote, I don't have the page for because I left my copy of the book at school, so I just did the audiobook and tried to find what I wanted. So Ashoke thinks that his first child changes everything and is the second miracle after being rescued from the train. So we probably remember more of that quote was being rescued from the shattered train had been the first miracle of his life, but here now reposing in his arms, weighing next to nothing but changing everything is the second. And then the second quote that I found is, then change it, his father said simply, quietly after a while. In America, anything is possible. Do as you wish. So I thought that kind of alluded to the consequence of raising a child in America. So with that said, I actually think that we should change this topic sentence to this one because I think this makes a little bit more sense here. So I'm going to just delete those and paste this here. Ashoke experiences the responsibilities and consequences of having and raising a child. Okay, so I'm going to change this a little bit. The responsibility of having a child and consequences of raising that child in America, far away from family. Let's say without family support. Okay, so I think I like this because it does a really good job of pointing out the responsibility and pointing out the consequence. And thank you to the person who wrote this because after I read this topic sentence, I was like, yeah, I really need to change that second quote. Okay, so All right, so let's see if I want to adjust the chunking and sprinkling here at all. So let me just pull that over here. Being rescued from that shattered train had been the first miracle of his life, but here now, reposing in his arms, weighing us to nothing but changing everything, is the second. So Ashoke thinks that his first child changes everything in his life. Let's do that just for clarity. And is the second miracle he has experienced after being rescued from the train. I like that. It's pretty good, pretty decent. Okay. Now we're gonna chunk and sprinkle this one. Okay. So, highlighter. Is it gonna let me do this or is it not? Okay. All right. I think simply and quietly after a while is important. Yeah, it's not gonna let me do it. Great. So I'm just gonna bold different parts of it and I'm gonna unbold this. Okay. So simply, quietly after a while. In America, anything is possible. Do as you wish. Okay, I know these are way more than 10 words. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Crap. Okay. So simply, quietly after a while. Okay, we're gonna take those away. In America, anything is possible. Do as you wish. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Whew, perfect. So now I'm going to try to chunk and sprinkle this. Okay. So Ashoke thinks, oh, okay. All right. So now in order to make this flow a little bit better as a whole, like a transition from the first sentence, the topic sentence, let's see what I can do here. Okay. So Ashoke experiences the responsibility of having a child and the consequences of raising that child in America without family support. Ashoke thinks that his first child changes everything in his life and is the second miracle he has experienced after being rescued from the train. So let's say Ashoke realizes how important the responsibility of his first child is. Okay. Because I do need a transition, but I feel like I have to like put a whole transition sentence. Okay. So I'm just gonna put here, he thinks that Gogol changes everything in his life and is the second miracle he has experienced. Okay, I kind of like that. I kind of like having a transition sentence. So remember, sometimes you'll have a transition sentence, sometimes you'll have a transition phrase. But this, I just want to like, let me see. Ashok really important the responsibility of his first child is because he thinks, let's see, because he thinks that Gogol changes everything and is the second miracle he has experienced in his life. Okay, there. I made it a little bit shorter. I made it into one sentence. Okay, perfect. Awesome. So that's great. I am going to I'm going to unitalicize this. And now I'm going to chunk and sprinkle the second quote. Okay, so then change it. His father said simply, quietly after a while, in America, anything is possible. Do as you wish. So I want to remember that I'm talking about a consequence that that Ashoke experiences after raising his son Gogol in America, right? So I can say something like, Ashoke has to grapple with the cultural differences. Okay, let's see. I'm going to tie it in a little bit better to the rest of the essay. As a consequence of moving to America and starting a family there, Ashoke has to grapple with the cultural differences between him and Gogol. This is a whole sentence. As a consequence of moving to America and having a family there and starting a family there, Ashoke has to grapple with the cultural differences between him and Gogol. Okay, that's fine. It's kind of like my transition into the sentence. It's a whole long sentence. One of the biggest challenges in Ashoke and let's see. This is not faring well for me, is it? Okay. All right. Let me just jump straight to the chunks without worrying about the transitions. Okay. Ashoke Ashoke resigns himself to accepting Gogol's decision to change his name. Okay, let's see. Quietly resigns himself to accepting Gogol's decision to change. Let's just say Gogol, because I don't want to use the word decisions again, okay? To Gogol's name change. Ashoke quietly resigns himself to accepting Gogol's name change, noting that in America, anything is possible. I need to do a double quote sandwich because this is a direct quote. And that resigns himself to accepting Gogol's name change. Gogol's, let's do this here. His own preferences. Ashoke quietly resigns himself to accepting Gogol's wish over his own preferences, noting that in America, anything is possible. And I have to put after Ashoke's because there's two he's, so that he would go to Gogol because it was the more recent one. Okay. And I need noting that in America, anything is possible, such as disobeying parents. Okay, I like that little dig right there. Okay, so there we go. All right, so taking that out. And where do I want to put this? I think I'm going to put that quote here at the very end. So it's there in case anyone wants to see it. Okay. So now I have to see what I'm going to do with that first sentence. I have no idea what I'm doing with. So I'm just going to go to the next step, which is providing analysis. So if I pull up that simplified literary analysis essay writing guide, blah, 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 here it is. If I pull it up, it shall give me some information. Okay, for the analysis part. Analysis. This is your chance to dive into the evidence you've offered to connect it to what you're trying to prove. There are 3 levels of analysis for each quote you'll do. Summary. What is the author saying? Is that clear, or do you need to make it more transparent to the audience? Can you offer just a few words of summary instead of a whole sentence? Importance. Obviously, you thought this quote was important. Why? It performs some kind of function that strengthens your argument. What is that function? Meaning. The author utilizes the quote to build a greater meaning in the work. What is the greater meaning, and in what way does the quote you chose make that apparent? So let's take a look back at this doc and let's work on it here. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller because why not? Okay, so we have summary, which we kind of do in the transition section, and then we have importance and meaning. So let's hit the first one. Okay. Ashoke realizes how important the responsibility of his first child is. Let's say fatherhood. There we go. Fatherhood is because he thinks that Gogol changes everything and is the second miracle he experienced in his life. Okay, whoa, that's father pod. I was off my home row. Okay, perfect. So now I need to like explain what is so important about this. Okay, Ashoke feels like, let's see. Instead of saying Ashoke feels like, let's just be a little bit more direct and like confident in our opinion. Instead of like hedging it like, I think, or maybe perhaps, let's just say it outright. So Ashoke discovers his life has new meaning because of being a father. And I am going to add a little bit more commentary from my own. Ashoke, okay, so like many first-time parents, okay, and I'm going to put similar to many first-time, is that the way? Yeah, parents. Okay, that was warning. Nope, that's not the way. First-time parents. Okay, that's fine. Okay, we can say Gogol's birth is so. Let me see if I can do that thingy. View, show print layout. Perfect. Okay, so I just collapsed the pages. Gogol's birth is so, I want to say groundbreaking, earth-shattering, but in a good way. Earth-shattering. Don't know if that's the right word. Gosh, what's going on here? So earth-shattering to him that he calls it a miracle, and calls it a miracle. That he calls it a miracle, and what does he do? Oh, he calls it a miracle, and thinks of it as having the same magnitude of the train accident he experienced. Okay. What's going on here? Okay, so Ashoke discovers his life has new meaning because of being a father, similar to many first-time parents. Gogol's birth is so earth-shattering to him that he calls it a miracle and thinks, and I'm just going to put that in quotes. And I'm going to define miracle here. So let's just look up the definition of miracle. Define miracle. Sorry, I'm eating pumpkin seeds. I don't really care. I'm writing it down anyways. Okay, come on, press enter, bro. A surprising and welcome event that is not explicable by natural or scientific laws and is therefore considered to be the work of a divine agency. A highly improbable, extraordinary event. So I'm kind of seeing like supernatural, mystery. Okay. So let's see what I want to write. Miracle. Like a miracle or a supernatural gift. That? A supernatural gift? Gogol's birth is so earth-shattering to him that he calls it a miracle or a supernatural gift, and thinks of it as having, because we know that Ashoke is atheist, so he doesn't believe in God, and thinks of it as having the same magnitude of the train accident he experienced, okay? The one other thing I want to say is that we know that Ashoke said that, like, being pulled out of that train crash was like being born again, and coming to America was like being born again, but I guess that's not becoming a father. So, okay, scratch that. It's perfectly fine. Okay, I'm happy with where we are. So now let's go. Okay. I'm going to read it all together again. I've just put that second. Okay, well, I put that transition sentence that I didn't know what to do with, and I put that second quote sentence there too. Ashoke experiences the responsibility of having a child and consequences. Ashoke experiences the responsibility of having a child as well as, there we go, as well as the consequences of raising that child in America without family support. Ashoke realizes how important the responsibility of fatherhood is because he thinks that Gogol changes everything and is the second miracle he has experienced in his life. Ashoke discovers his life has new meaning because of being a father, becoming a father. That makes a little bit of different vibe to that sentence. Ashoke discovers his life has new meaning because of becoming a father, similar to many first-time parents. Gogol's birth is so earth-shattering to him that he calls it a miracle or a supernatural gift and makes it, let's like be a little bit more fancy. If we want to put akin here, akin to a supernatural gift, and thinks of it as having the same magnitude of the train accident he experienced. As a consequence of moving to America and starting a family there, Ashoke has to grapple with the cultural differences between him and Gogol. Ashoke quietly resigns himself to accepting Gogol's wish over Ashoke's own preferences, noting that in America anything is possible, such as disobeying parents. Okay. So this is a little bit rough. I do like this being here because it's kind of like a second topic sentence in my paragraph that I kind of need, because I'm saying responsibility having a child, consequence, like parenting not in the same way that he was like experienced when he was a child, because we do have this here, which is kind of like the first half of this topic sentence. So, okay. So, choking on my pumpkin seed, oh God. As a consequence of moving to America and starting a family there, Ashoke has to grapple with cultural differences between him and Gogol. I think I just need to like contextualize the quote a little bit more. So when Gogol wants to change his name, Ashoke quietly resigns his own name. Ashoke quietly resigns himself to accepting Gogol's wish over his own preferences. Okay. Over his own preferences, knowing that in America anything is possible, such as disobeying parents. Okay, I like that. So let's read it all together again. As a consequence of moving to America and starting a family there, Ashoke has to grapple with cultural differences between him and Gogol. When Gogol wants to change his own name, we already know he's son, whatever. When Gogol wants to change his own name, Ashoke quietly resigns himself to accepting Gogol's wish over his own preferences, noting that in America, anything is possible, such as disobeying parents. Okay. So, let's see. Unlike his, well, is it so unlike his own background? Because Ashoke did kind of disobey his parents by going to America. So now I have to figure out what I want to say here. Okay, so let's maybe talk about the differences, the cultural differences, right? Ashoke has to, okay, so let's do it this way. Because of, let's just say, Ashoke has to implicitly accept, I don't think those are the right words. Ashoke has to implicitly accept the cultural norms of American parenting rather than Bengali parenting because he and his family, not him lives, and his family live in America. Is that right? Okay. So this is when my verbal processing is going to come in handy. Okay, I'm going to go back to what I was originally thinking. Because he and his family live in America, Ashoke Ashoke is pressured to accept the cultural norms of American parenting over Bengali parenting. Does that make any sense? All right, it's turning into a disaster. It's okay, I'll figure it out. Okay. Because he and his family live in America, Ashoke is pressured to accept the cultural norms of American parenting rather than Bengali parenting. Okay. This kind of refers to the quietly resigns himself. Okay. He acknowledges that the power of America is that individuals shape their lives, let's say shape their futures more independently than in India. Okay, I'm going to take this rather than Bengali parenting because that's kind of making it, it's kind of implied. And then I kind of have this then in India thing here. So I'm getting some of that comparison there. And I just didn't like how that sentence sounded. Because he and his family live in America, Ashoka is pressured to accept the cultural norms of American parenting. He acknowledges that the power of America is that individuals shape their future more independently rather than in India, more independently than in India, as compared to India, as compared to in India. That doesn't make sense. He acknowledges that the power of America is that individuals shape their futures more independently as compared to India. To, let's just say what happens in India. Okay. Okay. I'm kind of happy with that. India, and I just want to say maybe something like, this, after all, is what Ashoke experienced in his own life and kind of bought into when he didn't tell his parents that he wanted to go to school abroad. So, Okay. That children Okay. Because he and his family live in America, Ashoka is pressured to accept the notion that children's opinions matter, a cultural norm of parenting, of American parenting. There we go. Okay, I like that a little bit better. Okay. I don't know if I want to leave this here. All right, no, that's fine. I don't need to take a dig at Ashoke. Okay, perfect. So I have, sorry, not a little bit disgusting, but what can I say? I have completed this except for the concluding sentence. So now I just need to like tie it back together and wrap it up. So Ashoke experiences the responsibility of having a child as well as the consequences of raising that child in America without family support. I'm going to take this out because I was initially going to talk about the family support thing and I'm not actually going to talk about it. Okay. So let's just say something like Ashoke's becoming a father is a responsibility that completely changes Ashoke's life. And it comes with unforeseen consequences. But it comes with unforeseen consequences. But it comes with unforeseen consequences. But it comes with consequences he had not foreseen when he first decided to move to America. Love it, because we're talking about that decision about moving. And let's just make this present tense because that's what I'm supposed to do. Okay. Thank you, God. Okay. I'm going to stop this recording now. And I guess thank you for watching this much. And there will be a part 2 where I put the essay, the 2 body paragraphs together a little bit and go through that.